Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about how to care for your Conure parrot, what parrot accessories and toys you might need, and Grinchy Conure care in general. Let me start by saying that owning a bird is a serious decision and a big commitment. I know that is the case, and it has been the case for me for the past year and a half. The first and most important purchase that we made, even before we had our green chiconnier, was the parrot cage. We did that so that we are prepared once our birdie is home, but also so that we can enjoy our time with the bird rather than building up his cage. So we wanted already to have a home for him even before he was home. However, the first week that we got the bird, we had to keep him in his travel cage because he was underweight. So that was the advice from the pet store who told us that he should have less space to move around, and that's why they advised us to keep him just for the first week in his travel cage and give him all the fatty food, which is seeds, and they gave us a mix of peas and beans and corn, which we had to boil, and we would give that as a snack to him. I should say, keeping him in his travel cage for a whole week, that was a hard mission from the very beginning. The first and only thing he wanted to do was to get out of that travel cage. And then we ended up keeping him there only for the first 5 days. Since then, our colorful birdie lives with us in our small apartment in his large parrot cage. So yes, the first thing you need to think about is getting a cage for your bird. We got a fairly large cage for our one small parakeet. It is 46 centimeters per 46 centimeters length and width, with a height of 156 centimeters, with a bar space of 1.6 centimeters. That bar space is sufficient for him not to get stuck in there and not to try to get out. It is just perfect for our green chiconnier. So bar space 1.6 centimeters. With that cage, our parrot has sufficient space to move around, as well as sufficient space for his food and water bowls. Additionally, his toys and sleeping corner fit in there too. I will get into the cage tour later on, and I will show you all the toys that he has in there. The second most important thing to consider when getting a bird is its food. We feed our parrot with pellets every day at the advice of our vet. Most favorite pellets of our Elvis are the Psittacus pellets, the minor formula. I will leave a link to these pellets in the description down below this video, so you can also check it out for yourself and see maybe your bird likes them too, and maybe they become your bird's favorites as well. Our bird starts his day with a fresh teaspoon portion of pellets. They serve him as his breakfast and his brunch. At lunchtime, he gets raisins and a bowl of fresh fruit and vegetables. We are not making bird chop for him, but rather give him his snacks fresh. Usually as snacks he gets apple, spinach and carrot, pieces of them of course, not a full carrot and not a full apple. Sometimes he gets corn, grapes or pieces of paprika, broccoli, boiled pasta or boiled rice. It is so weird, but he loves boiled pasta or boiled rice. If he sees I'm making rice, he's right there on my shoulder, going straight into the bowl to get it. Very strange. It really depends what we have on that day for lunch or for dinner, and that is also what he gets for snacks. Late afternoon, he gets his seeds, and maybe some pieces of cracker or cornflakes in the seeds. There are some foods that are absolutely to avoid, the no, no, no foods, the not even a piece kind of parrot foods. And that these foods are avocado, so no avocado. Onion, no onion. Garlic, no, no garlic. Alcohol, no alcohol. And chocolate, absolutely no chocolate. These foods act like poison for our birds and should be avoided at all costs. There are other foods, however, that are not poison for the birds, but are not healthy either, like all the human meals that contain sugar, salt, and fats. These foods are preferable to stay away from. They will not kill your bird, but they're also not going to make him any better, health-wise, I mean. Now, let's talk about Green Cheek Conure toys and the cage tour that I promised before. Elvis has quite some toys on top of his cage as well as inside of his cage. The toys are important for your little feathered friend because, well, first of all, it keeps him busy. It also stimulates him because, you know, it makes him think how to get from one side of the toy to the other, things like that. But also it is healthy for them because they climb upside down. It helps them flex their joints and their feet. And it also provides very good entertainment. As you can see Elvis over here playing with his ball. Inside of his cage, on top side of the cage, you can see, so the first thing is his swing. This is like an intermediary step. So we have on the door, we have sort of mini perch. This is a bowl holder, but usually when we put him in the cage, he steps on this holder first, and then he goes on this perch, and then jumps on the swing, and then goes on the main perch over here. And then from the main one, he usually goes to his sleeping ladder up here on the left. This is the wooden sleeping ladder, or the ladder perches, the bird ladder perches. And then in the back there is a smaller swing, and that's the one he goes to when he is upset or he just wants to take a rest. Whereas the big ladder over here, this one is his main sleeping ladder. So when we bought a sleeping hammock or a sleeping hut for him, he immediately rejected it. He didn't like it, and therefore he chose for himself to sleep on the ladder. For us, it has been so far the most important toy we got him, because yeah, that's where he goes every night. Also, the ladder is interesting because it has this soft ropes. He uses to play with them and chew on them. What are you doing? Yay, you won! So he uses to chew on them, play with them, also with these ones in between, like these ones. He chews on them as well, bites them and sits on them, and yeah, maybe he can demonstrate exactly what he's doing. Come. Show us how you step. So he goes on that one first, and usually then steps in when he does. Alright, let's move on. Here right at the entrance we have 3 hanging bows that Elvis likes to punch every time he goes in the cage. And there you go, the ladder. As I mentioned, the most important attribute of the cage. And this is how he just stepped from the main perch via this swing onto this perch, and here he is. Here he is, right in front. Next to the hanging bowls, he's got his water bowl. What else? On the lower side of the cage, we have this stick, and he uses to bite it. So that is his project. Usually when I put him in the cage in the afternoon, he starts biting on it.
which is cool because it keeps him again busy and it gives him something to do. He also bites on the ropes and on these colorful wooden pieces. And then he has another perch over here. He uses to sit on it and eat from his food bowl. But right now the food bowls are on top. That's why they're not there. He also has another perch lower here. That's where he poos in the morning usually. So before letting him out, I put him on this perch where he makes his big morning poo. And then he also has his foraging toy over here, where sometimes I put some snacks. But it went too low for him, so he's less interested in it right now. So I have to figure it out, figure out where to put it a bit higher because he's not playing with it lately. On the outside of the cage, he also has this guitar toy that he plays with. So he likes to bite these pieces, pulls on them. He bites this pieces here up. So yeah, this is another attraction point outside of the cage. And we also have a stick on the outside where he likes to sit and just look outside at what's happening. And then on top of the cage we have 2 foraging biting toys that he likes to play with, a bell and just random balls or random tea bag paper that he likes to bite. So yeah, oh, of course, and the snacks and the food. I have some pellets from this morning from breakfast. I gave him seeds a few hours ago, so some are late afternoon, and he has 3 blueberries for snacks. And here he is biting on the tea paper bags. Very interesting. So it keeps him busy and entertained, and I'm happy when he's happy. And here is my happy birdie.
What about Grinchy Conure personality? In general, parrots are social birds. In the wild, they live together with other birds in flocks. The birds in our homes, just like the ones in the wild, are social birds and look to form their flock. Therefore, the humans, you and me, that are around the parrot become the bird's flock, with which the bird will want to bond and socialize. Green cheeks are also very vocal. They will certainly let you know if there is something you do that bothers them. For example, our bird gets very upset for loud noises. If, let's say, the TV is on and our parrot decides it is too loud, he will make sure to complain louder than the TV and drag our attention towards him. He would also not stop complaining until we would turn the volume down. Also during the day, if for example the kettle is on and the noise it makes bothers our parrot, he would keep complaining until the kettle boils the water. Looking back, our Grinchy Conure got used to us really quickly. From the first days when we let him out of the cage, he would go straight to our shoulders. He still enjoys sitting on our shoulders 1.5 years later, be it as we are sitting down on the couch or on the chair or just walking around in the house. The challenge with him starts when he's left behind. If he's in the cage and we leave the room, he would start screaming in the same second. If he's out of the cage and he did not manage to fly on us before we left the room, he would start screaming just as fast. He wants his flock always around and he wants to be involved in everything that his flock does. Our Grinchy Conure parrot is also very curious. He would fly around in the room and slowly start stepping onto new territories that he has not stepped on or pooped on before. At the end of a busy day, he enjoys his head scratches. He also likes to lean his body into our warm hand or against our necks. Finally, let's talk about our Grinchy Conure daily routine. Our morning starts with letting our colorful bird out of the cage. After, of course, having his morning poop, he gets pellets and fresh water every morning. He's free to fly around, play on his own on his Java tree or on top of his cage, or just sit on my shoulder for the whole morning. At noon, we have lunch together. He gets a raisin that he's allowed to eat on top of his cage. After that, I let him play for a little longer, 30 minutes to 1 hour longer. He goes in the cage around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He also gets his bowl of goodies with fresh fruit and veggies, which keep him busy in the beginning. In the cage, while he's locked, he would either eat or play or chill for the next few hours. In the late afternoon, around 3 or 4, sometimes even 5 o'clock in the afternoon, he gets his seeds, sometimes topped up with pieces of crackers or cornflakes, or even a few more raisins. He can get out of the cage around 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening and spend the evening together. He's free to either play on top of his cage or stay on our shoulders. This is it for my tips for a green cheek cognac care and the way that I care for my parrot. If you have any remarks, additions, or just thoughts, you can leave them in the comments section down below. They always make Elvis very happy. If you think this video had valuable information and interesting insights, or if you just enjoyed watching my Conure Parrot, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. That will allow me, the parrot flock, to make even more, even better, even more informative and entertaining videos in the future. See you next time. Take care. Bye.